Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Journal. In this part 2 of our journey into the high Sierras of Yosemite National Park, we set out on a short but steep day hike to the top of one of Yosemite National Park's most famous peaks, Mount Hoffmann. Thought by many to be the first peak climbed inside the national park, Mount Hoffmann sits at an elevation of 10,772 feet and is located near the geographical center of Yosemite National Park, and is named for cartographer Charles F. Hoffmann, who was part of the original California Geological Survey of the Sierra Nevada mountains. Scenic May Lake that sits directly below the summit was named after Hoffmann's lovely wife, May. Also, the impressive spire located just a few hundred feet south of the true summit is called Hoffmann's Thumb, and it's rated at 5.6 scale as a climbing route for Yosemite climbers who are up for the challenge. On Mount Hoffmann, William Brewer once noted in his journal dated June 24, 1863, that it commanded a sublime view, and the scene is one to be remembered for a lifetime. In his turn, Josiah Whitney stated, "The view from the summit of Mount Hoffmann is remarkably fine." The view from Mount Hoffmann is indeed remarkably fine. The peak is almost at the exact center of Yosemite National Park, and from its summit we can see much of the perimeter of the park, for much of that perimeter consists of high ridges. Looking westward from Mount Hoffmann, we can see tempered foothills disappearing into the haze of the Central Valley of California. As we shift our views northward, we can see smooth contours of the foothills give way to the skyline to pointed and jagged peaks of bare rocks in shades of white, red, and gray. A lake-strewn creek which fed the Hoffmann Glacier that moved down Yosemite Creek forms the precipitous north face of Mount Hoffmann itself. Oh boy, we got a real close-up and personal view of that one on our adventure, and it still gives me goosebumps. To the east, directly below Hoffmann, is May Lake, and Tenaya Lake is in the middle distance, surrounded by sheeted granite walls. The scenic panorama for Mount Hoffmann is a grand introduction to much of the geology of Yosemite. The landforms of Yosemite, like landforms everywhere, reflect the type, structure, and erosional history of the underlying rocks. The different topographic shapes, spires, domes, and cliffs reflect different rock structures and erosional history, especially erosions caused by glaciers. In discussing how best to spend one's Yosemite time, John Muir suggested, just go straight up to Mount Hoffmann. From the summit, nearly all of Yosemite Park is displayed in front of you like a map. John Muir also wrote in his journal dated July 26, 1869, "Rambled to the summit of Mount Hoffmann, 11,000 feet high, the highest point in life's journey my feet have touched so far. At what glorious landscapes are about me. New plants, new animals, new crystals, and multitudes of new mountains far higher than Hoffmann, towering in glorious array along the axis of the range, serene, majestic, snow-laden, sun-drenched, vast domes and ridges, shining below them forests, lakes, and meadows in the hollows, the pure bluebell flower sky brooding them all. A glory day of admission into a new realm of wonders, as if nature had wooingly whispered, 'Come higher.'" Okay, who would have thought that 158 years later we'd be standing on the same peak as the Yosemite pioneers with names like Brewer, Whitney, and Muir? Just thinking about it gives me the chills. Just some thoughts before we go up on this climb. While standing beside May Lake looking up to the towering peaks in the background, actually neither one of them are actually Mount Hoffmann. Well, we thought they were until we started climbing, and then we realized there was a much taller and more interesting peak behind them. Keep an eye on those peaks though, and remember them, because we'll be ending up sitting on a spectacular ledge right in between the two of them later on in our hike today. All right, let's head up the mountain and go to Mount Hoffmann.
I didn't get any sleep at all last night. I tossed. Well, I shouldn't say that. I did get some sleep. I slept from 10 when we went to bed till, I guess 2 before I woke up to go to the bathroom. And then after that, I just tossed and turned, and I just couldn't get any sleep. So, and it seemed a lot hotter than it was supposed to be. It was supposed to get down into the low 30s, and it's definitely not the low 30s. I can tell you that right now. So. It's chilly, but it's not nearly that cold, and I was sweating. So anyway, I just thought I'd come out and do a walk around, check on the bear cans. No activity. I have my trail cam set up at the bear can, and nothing. So quiet place here in May Lake at the High Sierra camps. As we're waiting for sun to come out and illuminate top of the peak up there. It's getting close. Well, this morning we're going to go to Mount Hoffmann. We're going to cross this little bridge here. It's only a 1.6 mile hike to Mount Hoffmann, but it includes 1,600 feet of elevation gain, which is about over 1,000 foot a mile. So we should get some incredible views of May Lake and all of Yosemite Valley, along with views off the other direction toward the west. So that would be a good hike. Mount Hoffmann is way above me to the right, over 1,000 feet above me. And I read that the trail is fairly easy to follow in the lower half, but on the upper half it kind of gets a little tricky, and you gotta look for cairns, the correct cairns. Looks like it's gonna be a nice day today. It's gonna be warm. So we'll see how the climbing goes. Well, we've been climbing up this trail to Mount Hoffmann for about half an hour now. It looks like we're coming to this overlook. A pretty tremendous view from right here. Great shot right there overlooking May Lake. Over here. So you got May Lake over there. To the right you got Cathedral Spire. And then way off to the right, you got Vogelsang Peak, the pointy one in the background, and then Cloud's Rest is to the right, that little kind of saddle hump looking thing. And then Half Dome is buried in the trees to the right. And we also have a view to Tenaya Lake straight down there in the bottom of the canyon. It's kind of in the shadow, so you might not be able to see it, but what a tremendous view. That's where we came from, May Lake. And that's where we're going, Mount Hoffmann. Just took a little short 5-minute break at this one spot with just tremendous views. So we're about a third, maybe almost halfway, but we're only at 9,800 feet right here, and we're going to get to 1077. So we've got some serious climbing to do this morning. Pretty nice looking meadow to the right. And to my left, on the other side of this hill, are those tremendous views over the valley. There might be one small group ahead of us, and that ought to be it for today. Hopefully be nice at the summit and not real windy. So anyway, I'll catch up with you in a few minutes. We're watching this guy doing a trail run at the top of Mount Hoffmann. The good thing is, we don't know really where we're going to be heading our route. We can't really tell. It looks like it's in between, in the chute between those two peaks. At least now we'll have something to focus on as he goes up, because we'll be able to see his red backpack. We're about halfway, maybe a little more mileage-wise, but elevation-wise, we're a little less than halfway. We have to gain about 1,600 feet to get the top of Hoffmann, and we're about 600 and something feet. And I'll spin around, I'll show you what's coming up. That's coming up. That's another 1,000 feet of elevation that we got to climb. So we've got some serious climbing to do still. We're taking a little break here. I just popped my Hammer Gel energy supplement. Hopefully that'll help me get to the top. In the meantime, we're admiring these tremendous views from here. We can see everything. We can see Vogelsang Peak and Cloud's Rest, Half Dome, Sentinel Dome. We can see the beginning of the valley over that direction there. And what we've noticed here, which we did notice earlier,
was that thick layer of brown just sitting right on the horizon level. So we're not sure if that's smog or smoke. It looks more like smoke to me. We've been away for a couple of days from civilization, so we don't really know if there's a big major fire going or not. We don't really know, but we can definitely see that brown layer just sitting there. So in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy these tremendous views of Tenaya Canyon, which goes down that way. In fact, Half Dome is right over there. To the right of Half Dome is where Tenaya Canyon goes through, and Yosemite Valley proper is just on the other side that shoots that way. So anyway, so we're going to take a few more minutes here, enjoy this cool breeze, and then that's where we're going. Well, we're not too far from Mount Hoffmann. It's right above us here, a couple hundred feet. We can see the National Park Service repeater up there. And what a tremendous view over all of Yosemite National Park from here. We've got a view of Half Dome and Clouds Rest and Sentinel Dome, Vogelsang Peak, all the way around to the right to this kind of the edge of Yosemite Valley going down Tenaya Creek. We can see Tenaya Lake down there. Our May Lake is off to the left on the other side. And the weather is just absolutely perfect up here. It's only 10:35 in the morning, and it's probably 62 degrees or something like that. And we got a nice cool breeze coming up valley, and it just cools us down. And it's steep, and we're not done yet, but we're getting there. Well, Dave's got the All Trails app. He's following his line. That's the top of Hoffmann right there. I love that little spire right there. It's kind of cool. And it's looking down toward Half Dome. All right, here's the top of Mount Hoffmann. We're almost there. Some serious scrambling here at the end. Jerry worked his way up. Not easy. Up here. I'm almost there. Let's go this way. That's it. Top of Hoffmann. First peak climb in Yosemite National Park. What a view from here. It's actually really nice up here. It's not that windy. Nice little breeze. Now you can see all that brown layer off in the distance. Well, I made it to the top of Mount Hoffmann. That's 10,772 feet. It's one of the first peaks climbed in Yosemite National Park. I'll give you a little 360 here. Yeah, behind me you get all kinds of views down to some of the iconic spots in Yosemite. And boy, that last 20 minutes was a scramble. working our way down from Hoffmann. I gotta admit, it's quite the boulder scramble as we're heading down. Nerves were getting a little of the best of me. The more I stood up there at the top, the more nervous I got. I didn't feel comfortable taking a break up there and eating my dinner or eating my lunch, so I told the guys I'm gonna start heading down. And once I get down here to this flat spot, we'll take a break and I'll break out my snacks and eat. So, and it looks like we're about, I don't know, 3/4 the way down maybe. So we're getting there. This is a lot easier and a lot safer. Still got to worry about your footing though. Still pretty loose and slippery up here. All the way from Mount Hoffmann. There's the top. I started off, Jerry followed a few minutes later, and Dave said he was going to take a few more minutes. And he's up there a ways, working his way down. The first, I don't know, 100 feet coming off the top are pretty tough. But we made it. So there's still slippery sections here, but it's not as bad. Well, Mount Hoffmann is over there. Our trail goes downslope to the left. And there was this little wave-like ridge that was over here on this other side. We thought this was kind of cool. So we're gonna go up here to the top, see what's on the other side. Well, Mount Hoffmann's behind us over there. And we made it down and we decided to go see what's over here. So we're gonna go check this out. Oh, check it out, it's a little meadow. Thought it'd be a sheer drop, it's not. This is the backside of those mountains that we could see from May Lake. Yeah, way off in the distance there's a marmot. You can barely see him, he's a little dot. He's looking at us. Let's see if I can get a picture of him running. Well, when you're at May Lake and you're looking up at what we thought was Hoffmann, is these two rock outcrops, the one on the left and then the one immediately to my right. We're almost at the top of those. And there's my marmot friend right there. He's fat. Well, we're not too far from May Lake. It's like 3,000 feet straight down. May Lake is down there. That's where we started today. So we have to figure out a way to get down there. We're on this ledge here with this big drop off, and we're gonna take our lunch break here. And you see Tenaya Lake in the background and May Lake directly below us. So we're just taking a little lunch stop here. Get caught up on our hydration, and then we're going to start working our way back down to the trail, and then eventually we'll end up back at May Lake. So it's been an absolutely stunning day up here, crystal clear skies. Off in the distance there's a brown layer. We don't know if that's smoke or just smog, can't really tell, but it's kind of wafting into the valley, so it's not as clear as it was earlier, but the views are just phenomenal here. There's a friendly marmot behind me. He's just sitting there on the rock. I videoed him quite a bit. I think he's hoping that we leave him a snack. Anyway, Good times up here in Yosemite. It's a pheasant. Or it's a log. No, it's a pheasant. He's right here in the bushes. You can come on up. How's it going? There's a pheasant right there. He's keep coming up. He looks like a log, but he's moving his beak. He's moving his head. He's just kind of hanging out. It's like totally camouflage. I just want to get a good picture. Working our way down this real steep boulder section. There's not really much of a trail. I was coming down and I got off trail several times. There's a few rock cairns, but they're not in the right spots. And there's some places you gotta hop down a couple of feet, and some loose scree and narrow sections where your foot gets jammed in. So it's a little harder than it looks. Well, we had kind of a tough day today. Today we went up to Mount Hoffmann, and mileage-wise, it wasn't that bad. It was only it's under 2 miles from May Lake to Mount Hoffmann. But what you don't get when you first start going up is it's over 1,600 feet of elevation gain. It's nuts. It's 1,600 feet in a mile and a half. So it's about 1,000 foot and a mile, something like that. And it's loose rock, and there's some shale and some talus up there too, and lots of gravel and stuff. So you lose your footing, but we persevered. We made it up there. Didn't take that long, a couple of hours maybe, but the last 100 feet was pretty rough. I mean, you were using your hands and you were scrambling, and me carrying a tripod and a GoPro on a Joby Gorilla Pod. I had both hands full, and I was having a tough time maintaining my balance. And if you're fear of heights, that's not the place to go, because one wrong move there and you go tumbling down a long ways, and the rangers are going to have a tough time getting to you. They're going to have to come in via helicopter. There is a Yosemite radio repeater on the top. How it got there, we don't know. There's no real safe place to land a helicopter, and obviously they didn't hike it up there. It must have been an airdrop of some kind, who knows. But that's the main repeater for the national park in Yosemite. There's other ones throughout the park, but because of the location from up there, and you can tell by the videos, you have tremendous views from Half Dome, including Clouds Rest, over to Sentinel Dome, and then you got views all the way out to Mount Conness and Mount Lyell and Ansel Adams Peak. Just tremendous view from up there, as you can imagine. Both, views to the north and to the south, and it was pretty impressive. We did, on the way up there, probably 50, 60 feet from the top, we ran into a couple, and I think they were done. They didn't have much farther to go, but the female half, nerves got the best of her, I think, and she decided that was as far as she was going to go today. And I understand that, do what you feel you can do, and that's not the time or place to push yourself, because if you were to fall there, you'd be in a world of hurt real quick. So anyway, we made it up there, and then we weren't up there that long, just 20, 30 minutes maybe. And the more I started thinking about that down climb, the more nervous I got. And on the backside, there was this straight drop. It must have been 2,000 foot drop, just sheer cliff. And Dave kind of crept out to the edge and kind of leaned over, and I got some pictures of that. And then my stomach started churning at that point, because I was getting a little nervous. I'm not afraid of heights or anything, but I got to admit, right there at that spot, I was kind of feeling it a little bit. So after about 20 minutes, I think we decided, you know what, I just couldn't stand it anymore. It was just gnawing at me, that little down climb, that short little section of down climb. So anyway, so we headed back down. And then once we headed down, it was kind of nice, because once we got down a little ways, got through the treacherous section, we saw like a wave-like section off to our left, which is what we actually thought was Mount Hoffmann from May Lake. So we went over there, and we were actually in between those two pinnacles, and that turned out to be a great addition to our day hike. there was a phenomenal view up there, straight down onto May Lake. We could also see off in the distance Polly Dome Lakes, which is where we're going to go tomorrow. And to top it off, there was a really friendly marmot who came out to see us, and I got within about 10 feet of him, shot some great video of the marmot, and we had lunch up there. And then, of course, the down climb from there was just a toe jammer, man. It was just, 2 hours of just jamming your toes and sliding down on scree, and that part wasn't fun. But we made it down safely, made it back to May Lake. We had a nice big celebration lunch, I guess. I ate a whole bunch of stuff out of my bear can, and I tried to rehydrate best I could and just relaxed for a while. But now we've come up to this location. This is right above the High Sierra camp at May Lake. There's a little rock outcrop that goes probably, 75 feet maybe above the camp. And it's got this great view. I've been up here before. I was up here yesterday. It's got this great view of Tenaya Lake off in the distance over there. And you can't see it from here, but Polly Dome Lakes is on that side. And I think, not this area right here, but the one on the other side, I think that's Murphy Creek. And that's where we're going to be heading down in 2 days. So tonight we're going to enjoy one more night at May Lakes. Tomorrow we're going to head around the Glen Allen Trail to the turnoff just past the Ten Lakes Trail to the Murphy Creek Trail. We're going to turn right and head down toward Polly Dome Lakes. And then that'll take us back to the car, which is at the Murphy Creek Trailhead down there toward the end of the lake. So anyway, that's going to take care of tonight's video log of our little trip up here. We're going to stay up here until sunset, try to get some great colorful views of the peaks in the distance, and enjoy this great weather we're having up here in Yosemite. It's absolutely perfect up here, not a cloud in the sky. It's gorgeous. Anyway, you have a good night. We're on this outcrop above the High Sierra camp at May Lake. And way above the lake, you see those two peaks. We were right in between the two. The little flat spot nearest the one on the left. That's where we were sitting when the marmot came up. So it's pretty incredible when you see it from this distance. That's the altitude that we climbed. And we're still several hundred feet above the lake. The lake is down in the tree line below, so it's even higher than that. And we thought those were both Mount Hoffmann, and it turns out it's not. Hoffmann is behind it. Well, that'll do it for this second part of our adventure into Yosemite National Park, our day hike to the summit of Mount Hoffmann. In this last part of this series, we pack up camp at May Lake and take the trail toward Glen Allen and the Ten Lakes Junction before heading down the Murphy Creek Trail to the Polly Dome Lakes, our last night's camp. Along the way, we're in for some spectacular views, meet some interesting people, and we get just a little bit lost. And all of this will be coming up in the last part of our adventure into Yosemite National Park. Alrighty, take care. Bye-bye.